Okay, tonight's experiment is going to be roasted fennel. Never actually done this before, but I've thought about it and I've made up this recipe in my head. I hope it works out. Lily, this one's for you. To prepare the fennel, first we cut off the stalks, which are, to tell you the truth, tougher than I was expecting. Then we thinly slice the bottom bit. You don't want to cut it all off because you want to keep enough of it together to hold the fennel together. Then we are going to cut it into wedges. That piece doesn't want to stay on, which is unfortunate. So for that, I'm going to teach it a lesson and cut it. I guess something like that should work from a wedge perspective. I don't often take the wedge perspective. Yeah, let's go with that. All right. I'm also going to take the little hairy bits off the stalk, the fronds, I guess they're called. We'll use those for later decoration. And I'm going to roast the stalks as well. I have to admit, I don't actually know if the stalks are meant to be eaten, but we're going to try it anyway. So yeah, really just remove the fronds from the stalk, and we're going to roast those as well. So my fennel has been cut into wedges, and I've split some of the bigger stalks. These wedges are quite small, so they'll probably roast pretty fast. I'm going to give them some olive oil. So as you can tell, these are going to be going into the air fryer. And that is 170 grams of fennel. We're going to season it with a bit of black pepper, some seasoning salt, I probably overshot the seasoning salt, smoked paprika, and I think that's about it. I think that's all we're going to do for it. Keep it relatively simple. Okay, when coming up with this recipe, my inner baldric came out and I came up with a cunning plan. I'm going to go relatively thick piece of tomato. "191 grams to be precise, or 7 ounces of tomato, and I'm going to cube this up and I'm going to roast this along with the fennel. It should come out soft and roasted, obviously from the roasting part, and actually make a bit of a contrast to the aniseedy flavor, and add a roasty flavor and an acidy flavor to the whole proceedings. And last but not least is the onion. We are going to caramelize our onions. And then the plan is to have roasted tomato, caramelized onion, and roasted fennel. Sounds pretty good. And that's about it for prepping the onions. Okay, caramelizing the onions. I like to use an induction burner just because the heat's instant. Bring it up to a medium-high heat. Let the pan get up to temperature. Then we're going to add some olive oil, quite a bit of olive oil actually, and throw our onions in. And we're going to bring it down to a medium heat and let our onions caramelize. Obviously not quite there yet. Also for this, I like to use a stainless steel pan because it's going to build up some crispy bits on the bottom, which when we deglaze the pan is going to add flavor to our caramelized onions. So our pan is about up to temperature now. Add in some olive oil. Once our olive oil is up to temperature, we're going to throw in our onions. Now we're actually throwing in quite a bit of onion, but that will come down as the onions shrink from cooking. First they'll get soft, then they'll get juicy, then they'll get caramelized. And we're throwing in about 300 grams of onion, or 10 ounces of onion. Okay, everything's up to temperature. I don't want them to get too dark too fast. So now I'm going to bring the temperature down to a medium temperature. Then I'm going to cover them after I add a bit of salt. Actually, I'm going to use seasoning salt. I'm going to use something to draw out the moisture. And I'm going to cover them, let them steam out, and then uncover them for the rest of the caramelization. Okay, after 5 minutes, the onions look like this. They're starting to caramelize up. This is over a medium heat. According to my induction burner, 150 degrees Celsius. Do the conversion into whatever old-timey unit you like yourself. Google will do that for you. We'll let it go some more. Oh, and they smell amazing. All right. After 10 minutes, I'd say we're about 5 minutes away from done. The onions are looking pretty good. I'm not getting as much crispy bits on the bottom as I would have liked, but I can live with that. All right, let's give it another 5 minutes. Okay, after the 12-minute mark, the smell started to change dramatically to a more caramelized smell. The onions started to all get much deeper in color. I'm going to call that done and put this down to a warming heat and prepare the rest of the meal. Okay, after preheating our air fryer, we're going to put in some parchment paper because I want to get kind of lazy on the cleanup. We're going to start with the tomato because I think it's going to take longer than the fennel to roast. And we're going to put this in for 5 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, I put my parchment in because I'm lazy on cleanup. We're going to do the tomatoes first because I believe they're going to take longer than the fennel. We're going to put them in at 200 degrees Celsius for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and throw the fennel in. After 5 minutes of roasting the tomatoes, I forgot to turn on the camera, so I've placed my fennel in the air fryer along with the stalks, and now it's going to go in for another 6 minutes, and then we're going to turn over the wedges, unless they look done, I guess. Okay, after 6 minutes, it looks like that. Looks like they got a pretty good roast on them, but I don't feel they're quite done yet. I think I'm going to flip them and keep roasting. Okay, after 12 minutes for the fennel and 18 minutes for the tomato, this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to plate it, and I'll come back when it's plated. Okay, here's the final product. Let's give this a taste. We'll start with the stalks. They taste okay, but they're really, really fibrous. Yeah, I'd recommend giving the stalks a miss. Okay, next we're going to try the heart. That has a really nice flavor, a nice roasted flavor. Let's try some with a bit of the roasted tomato. As you can see, I used some of the fronds from the fennel for decoration. Really good with the roasted tomato. They sort of offset each other. Now let's try it with some of the caramelized onion. Also really good. Caramelized onion really adds some sweetness to it. Now I'm going to do caramelized onion, roasted tomato, and fennel. Again, that comes out really good. All right, that's worth doing. Hope that works for you. There you go, Lily. One thing I should mention, if I was going to do it again, I would probably add more salt to the fennel. But other than that, it came out pretty good.